right? I don't know if you can hear the crowd, but they are already loving this band. You know, marching band performances have become something more than musicians in unison. You add a little Louisiana spice to the mix in this one, and you get a performance that knocks it out of the park with a high knee, back-bending majorette, and a cymbal-smashing, horn-blasting brass band. This is the Southern University Human Jukebox Marching Band. The Human Jukebox prides itself on executing precision drills like no other marching ensemble. Yes. This makes me happy. It's been 40 years since they've been in our parade. We are so glad they're back. Real crowd pleasers.
I'm sorry, I completely checked out. I just was sitting there watching them.
Oh, man. You know, Kaiser Permanente certainly has a lot to celebrate on this New Year's Day. The Wrigley Legacy Trophy for most outstanding display of floral presentation, float design, and entertainment. Kaiser also celebrating 75 years with courage to reimagine. Just like Frank Baum, author of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, imagined a world which transcended stereotypes, Kaiser has been committed to reimagining healthcare. So we follow the yellow brick road. The village chimneys fashioned from dehydrated carrots and red bell peppers. The Emerald City in all its green Galax glory shines bright at the end of the path. And Toto, look at that, with the best seat of all, up in the hot air balloon made from dehydrated green onions and parsley flakes. A scarecrow neurologist, a tin woodman cardiologist, a larger-than-life lion representing mental health, and a registered nurse dressed as Dorothy steal the spotlight, don't they?
Oh, love that story. All right, California's beloved Knott's Berry Farm turns 100 years old this year, and Cowboys, the classic stagecoach, a Surrey wagon, and the original horse-drawn buggy that Walter and Cordelia Knott rode around in remind us that this popular theme park was once a small berry farm with wild western roots. Those strapping beauties stealing the show are male thoroughbreds. But of course, we can't forget about Snoopy. Down there somewhere. There's Snoopy. He outshines them all. Happy 100th Knott's Berry Farm.
It's not every day, Mark, that you get to see a giraffe helping a turtle learn to fly. But that's what Kiwanis International is all about this year, helping youth find the wings to soar. Very sweet float. The giraffe's mane is made from palm fiber, and her eyes are made of black beans and walnut shells. And that cute little baby turtle with his pinto bean aviator goggles and little foot paths of halved Brussels sprouts, he is ready to take flight with the help of Kiwanis members there, waving and cheering him on. They're very proud of Kiwanis that this float was decorated in part by members of their Action Club. These are adults with disabilities, one of the many programs that they have. Nicely done.
Well, if a rodeo had a Super Bowl, these Cowboys would be the world champions. The Gold Buckle Brigade is the Cowboy Channel's pride in Western lifestyle and sporting events. Each rider from this elite group is wearing their prestigious Gold Buckle, one earned at the national finals, where they competed in events like bareback riding, the down roping and saddle bronc, and steer wrestling. They are all riding American quarter horses. Very talented. The riders and their horses are wearing rodeo gear and saddles that were worn during their championship competitions. Look at that. Isn't that just a spectacle just to see?
You know, they say that the average equestrian trains 100 hours for this parade. and that the newer horses are typically paired with or wedged between sometimes those more experienced horses to keep them calm, because the distractions are enormous, as you can imagine.
Yes, I mean, there's cameras, there's people there, there's bands playing, loud noises that can happen. There's, whether it's pyrotechnics going off, it doesn't matter.
Make way, Big Apple. After 30 years, rodeo is returning to New York City's Madison Square Garden, and the Cowboy Channel wants to kick off the celebration with Walk, Ride, Rodeo. Fireworks, flags of red kidney beans, and a mechanical bull covered in cowhide put our country's Western heritage front and center. But it is Amberly Snyder, superstar barrel racer, who steals the spotlight with this larger-than-life floral rendition and creme excelsior grass hair, which when we were there when they were building this, the florist art director came in to actually do a personal haircut. So, and it looks amazing. The real Amberly, however, is at the back of this float waving to the crowds, and she is the star of this one and the power of hope, defying the odds. Whoa, yes, a celebration for her and for all of us on this New Year's Day. Thank you, Cowboy Channel, for adding some fireworks to our festivities.
Back to what you were saying about keeping the horses from being spooked.
Exactly.
Right.
That mechanical bull, no problem.
Yeah.
But I do want you to see Amberly, because she defied the odds. She came back to barrel racing after she had a car accident. You could see she's in a chair. She was paralyzed from the waist down, and it happened right after the Rose Parade in 2010, in which she was a participant.
What, 9 days or so right after that? Yeah. And then when she still competes, she's buckled in, strapped on, and she communicates with her horse through her hands, because many times you communicate with your legs, but instead of her legs, she uses her voice and her hands.
Oh, man, Amberly's spirit is contagious. If you are fortunate enough to grow up in the hills of Kingsport, Tennessee, you just may have a shot at playing in the #1 marching band in the state. This is the Dobbins-Bennett High School Marching Band. Let's take a listen, thanks to our friends at Spectrum Mobile. Sends more musicians to the Tennessee All-State Band than any other high school. There are 363 members, as you see from that beautiful aerial view, and a look up close as well. Remember, 5.5 miles these band members march and do their thing. It's physically taxing, but emotionally invigorating for these band members. Such a neat thing to see up close. Tennessee, known as the Volunteer State, a little bit for you history buffs, the nickname originating during the War of 1812, when thousands of Tennesseans enlisted in response to the governor's call for volunteers. You can feel the energy. Dobbins-Bennett with the largest band program in all of Tennessee. We can hear them around the world on this New Year's Day.
Anybody need a ride? Amazon Studios is ready to roll out their new dramedy film this winter. It's called Troop Zero. Now, I love messages, and today's parade has got a lot of messages in it. Get ready to join forces with a spunky group of elementary school misfits, led by the courageous Christmas Flint. That's what you can call me, Lisa, is Christmas Flint, because that is her name. She dreams of living in outer space, and to get there, she needs to win the big talent show. So their macaroon, coconut, and celery seed covered bus is more than just a ride. It's a vehicle of force, enhanced by that rocket you see there on the roof, the bursting meteors of yellow and red carnations, and the satellite ahead is covered in silver leaf and straw flower. Amazon's ragtag scout team promises to deliver a family-friendly dramedy about acceptance. The message is of acceptance and the power of friendship. And I'm sure they picked a good show. They picked a good show for this year's parade theme.
Those are the Girl Scouts from Chino Hills waving, crammed into that bus. They're happy to be here. You know, all of these floats, if you're in the area, they will be parked for the next 3 days. You can actually come see them up close and get a real bird's eye view, a real in-person view of the majesty that goes into this detail.
Yeah, that is going to be from today until 5, and then tomorrow, January 2nd, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. if you want to see those. By the way, that's a real bus underneath all of that organic covering that is there. That bus was, by the way, built in California, constructed here. We found that out when we did our float tour.
So many things you don't think about, like the temperature that they have to keep for in this bus, there were certain criteria, and the temperature for the drivers of the floats.
Yes.
This parade, every detail is looked after. And look at this band. Look at the majesty.
View, yes. Wow, still coming around the corner. You know, you mentioned about the drivers. I will tell you, we spoke with some of the float builders, and these drivers will get behind the wheel or so behind the steering wheel, and they'll be there for 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let me tell you about our next band unit. Comes from a vibrant and passionate Latin American nation who brought their best band members across the land to perform their country's most popular rhythms. Coming your way now, the Banda El Salvador, Grande Como Su Gente. We can see their color, we can see their dances, we can see their costuming, and I hope we're going to be able to hear their sounds. They practiced very hard to be here.
They're coming around the corner. It's taking a little bit for them to make that swing. But this is now, they are now getting that full vision down Colorado Boulevard. Lined with 1 million people, estimated to be. 1 million.
Here we go. Salvador, Grande Como Su Gente, all started with the power of hope as a way to fight crime. We've heard this story about bands. This was created to give kids a chance to just get off the streets, learn a new skill, be involved in the arts, and they love it.